Hello, I am your super teacher Gorby, and today we will learn about links. Links are very interesting in that an entire rule set was created in order for duelists to play link monsters back in 2017. This is called Master Rule 4. Also, a new archetype called Cyberus was created. With a new rule set came a new extra deck monster type called Link Monsters. They are tinted in a darker shade of blue, so don't mistake them for ritual monster cards. They do not have a level, they do not have a defensive stat, there are red arrows pointing to different directions. On the bottom right, we have a text box that says what their link rating is. 1, 2, 3, 4, sometimes 6. The monster Decode Talker will be used as my example. No level, link 3, no defensive stat, but it does have an attack stat. Link monsters cannot go to defense position. Their defense will always be known as 0 despite it not being shown. Now, how do you summon a link monster? At the bottom of the card, you will have a text saying it is a link monster. Below that, you'll have its requirements to summon. It does not require a spell card to link summon. Link monsters can be summoned directly from the extra deck by using a monster or monsters you control as the link material. Consider it as contact fusing, except for a different archetype. Link 1 monsters require 1 monster for material. Link Yugioh requires 1 level 1 monster, and it just so happens the monster that is already on my side of the field is Gesture Confit, which is a level 1 monster. So I send my Gesture Confit to the graveyard and summon the Link Yugioh onto an extra monster zone. Remember that both players can only occupy 1 extra monster zone at a time, unless you link.
He's cheating. He knows I'm on a Cyberus link deck, and he's extra linking me. What?
U-linking almost never happens, it's very rare when it does happen, so for the most part you can ignore it if you are not playing a link-centric deck. You must summon the link monster to either the extra monster zone or to the zone that a link monster is pointing to on your side of the field. In this case, I can only summon Link Yugioh to the extra monster zone. Link 2 monsters require 2 monsters to be used as material. Splash Mage states that it requires 2 Cyberus monsters. Since I already have 2 Cyberus monsters already on the field, which are Mathmech Nabla and Mathmech Edition, I can send those 2 cards to the graveyard and summon Splash Mage to the extra monster zone. Splash Mage has an arrow pointed to the bottom right main monster zone. That means I can now use that zone if I wish to link summon again. Previously I had to use the extra monster zone for Link Yugioh, but because there is now a zone for me to use for a link summon, I can link summon Link Yugioh to that zone. Let's move on to Link 3. The monster we'll be using for this example is Transcode Talker. Transcode Talker in its text box says that it requires 2+ monsters. You're probably asking yourself, why doesn't Transcode Talker just say requires 3 monsters instead of just saying 2+ monsters? Well, you can summon Transcode Talker with 3 monsters since it is a Link 3. But, alternatively, you can just use 2 monsters. The 2+ effect monster requirement means that the card needs a minimum of 2 effect monsters for link summon to be legal. So how does that work? Link monsters can be counted as more than 1 material. Because Splash Mage is a Link 2 monster, it can be counted as 2 materials. The Link Yugioh is a Link 1 monster, so 2 + 1 = 3, which means we can use these 2 monsters to link summon. Link 1 monsters count as 1 material, so they are no different in terms of material value like any other monster you would summon on the field. Normal, Effect, Fusion, Xyz, Pendulums, Synchros, and Tokens, heck even Trap monsters can all be counted as 1 material monsters. It is important to note that a monster above the link rating of 1 can also be treated as a singular material. So, instead of climbing up and making a Transcode Talker with a Link 2 and a Link 1, I can treat the Link 2 Splash Mage as 1 material with the Link 1 Link Yugioh to make a Link 2 Code Talker. The Link 2 Code Talker is a monster that requires 2 effect monsters. Link monsters in general are effect monsters. Now, can we make a Link 4 monster? Let's try to summon the Link 4 monster Axis Code Talker. Axis Code Talker requires 2+ effect monsters. We can use the 4 effect monsters I already have in the field for this example to be able to link summon my Link 4 monster. But knowing what we know now about Link monsters, that they can be used as more than 1 material, in this scenario here, where we have the Link 3 Transcode Talker, we can activate the monster's effect to bring back Splash Mage. The Link 3 Transcode Talker, when used as material with the Link 2 Splash Mage, which can be used as a singular material, we can now link summon the Link 4 Axis Code Talker. Not every Link monster has the same materials. For example, The other Link 4 monster, Borosword Dragon, requires 3 plus effect monsters instead of 2 plus effect monsters like Axis Code Talker. If Axis Code Talker said it required 3 plus effect monsters instead of just 2 plus effect monsters, in this instance, how we use Transcode Talker and Splash Mage cannot work for the Link summon, since the requirement of 3 plus effect monsters, which means a minimum of 3 monsters, we only have 2 monsters with Transcode Talker and Splash Mage, we do not fulfill the requirements of the 3 plus effect monsters. We would need 1 more extra monster to be able to do this. There does exist Link 5 and Link 6 monsters like the Underworld Goddess of the Closed World and the arrival at Ignition Cybers. A lot of forward planning is needed to be able to summon Link 4 and up boss monsters. What makes Link so powerful is that they are generically powerful and can be used in the majority of decks, as many of them are not archetype specific, so you don't need to play a deck built around Link summoning, as generic Link monsters like Nightmare Cerberus, Phoenix, and Unicorn can be used in other decks. IP Masquerade, since its release, has been a staple for many decks in order to quickly Link climb into a strong Link boss monster. Boss monsters like Axis Code Talker and Borosword Dragon have been used in decks that don't have a strategy focused around Link summoning. If you play a Link-centric based deck, I recommend Mathmech, Sky Strikers, Salamangreat, and Adagnister. These decks have all had competitive success at some point in its deck's history. Link monsters, more than any other extra deck monster type, has more versatility and can be added into almost any deck you wish to play. And that does it for today's lesson. Thank you for tuning in. Feel free to hit like and subscribe if you want to. I hope you do well in today's quiz, and until next time, see you later.
It's quiz time!